Everything you have been told about emotional intelligence is a lie. They tell you to feel your feelings. They tell you to talk it out, to journal every passing whim, to validate every tiny pang of sadness or anger that washes over you. They tell you that suppressing your emotions is toxic. Stop. Stop listening to a fragile society that equates emotional incontinence with authenticity. Stop taking advice from fake gurus who want you trapped in a perpetual cycle of self-analysis and hypersensitivity. Their advice is making you weak. It is making you unpredictable. It is making you a slave to your own biology. Think about it. When you validate every single emotion, what happens? You snap at your partner because you had a bad day at work. You quit the gym because you just weren't feeling it today. You send that impulsive, angry text message and spend the next 3 days apologizing. You know this feeling. The agonizing regret after you lose your temper. The exhausting roller coaster of being up one day and paralyzed by anxiety the next. The profound, sickening realization that you are not the master of your own mind. Your emotions are driving the car, and you are just a terrified passenger in the back seat, hoping they don't crash into a wall. So you try the modern self-help methods. You try deep breathing. You try repeating affirmations in the mirror. You try setting boundaries. But the moment the pressure is on, the moment real stress hits, the affirmations evaporate. The anger still boils over. The anxiety still chokes you. Modern psychology tells you to handle your emotions like fragile glass. It tells you that you are a victim of your own neurochemistry. What a pathetic, disempowering narrative. This narrative keeps you completely controllable. If your mood dictates your actions, then anyone who can alter your mood controls your life. Your boss. Your ex. The news cycle. A random stranger on the internet. You have handed them the keys to your citadel. When you finally realize that your emotions are not sacred truths, but merely biological suggestions, everything changes. When you stop worshipping how you feel and start worshipping how you act, you become untouchable. If you are ready to stop being a puppet to your impulses, if you are ready to forge an iron mind, hit that subscribe button right now. We are building a generation of the unshakable, and we need your discipline in the ranks. Let's talk about men who understood absolute control. Let's talk about the Stoics. Let's talk about Epictetus, a man born into slavery, whose leg was deliberately broken by his master. He did not weep. He did not scream about injustice. He looked at his master and said, "I told you it would break." His master owned his body, but Epictetus retained absolute dictatorship over his mind. Let's talk about Marcus Aurelius, a man with the power to execute anyone who annoyed him. A man who faced betrayal by his closest friends and the death of his children. Did he throw tantrums? Did he let grief paralyze his empire? No. He wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Did the Stoics practice feeling their feelings? Did they believe their anger was a valid excuse for poor behavior? No. They understood that emotions are just weather. Sometimes it rains. Sometimes it storms. But the mountain does not care about the rain. Modern society is terrifyingly reactive. We are conditioned to respond instantly to every stimulus. We are taught that the space between an event and our reaction should be zero. We are instructed to be outraged, to be offended, to be constantly emotionally exhausted. The Stoics would look at us with profound disgust. They understood the ultimate weakness of an uncontrolled mind. They knew that tying your actions to your feelings is a form of self-sabotage. They cultivated emotional invincibility. They knew that anger is temporary madness. They knew that anxiety is a misuse of imagination. And they refused to indulge in either. They didn't try to stop feeling emotions, they were humans, not robots. But they severed the connection between feeling an emotion and acting upon it. This is the paradigm shift you must execute immediately. This is where you stop being an animal and start being a commander. You must stop treating your emotions as the ultimate truth. Start treating them as faulty data points that need to be aggressively filtered. Who are you? Are you a leaf, blown helplessly by the wind of your own neurochemicals? Or are you a fortress of solid stone, indifferent to the storms that rage outside? Emotional control is not about suppression. Do not confuse what I am saying with bottling things up until you explode. Suppression is the tactic of a coward who is afraid of his own shadow. Emotional control is the architecture of the elite. It is about observation. It is about stepping back from the emotion, looking at it coldly, and saying, "No. You do not dictate my next move." True invincibility is about alignment. It is aligning yourself with the absolute reality that your character is defined entirely by your actions, regardless of how you feel. That whether you are terrified, furious, or exhausted, the gates of your discipline remain locked from the inside. So how do you actually forge this control? How do you train your mind to block the impulses of the animal brain? It requires ruthlessly implementing 12 brutal habits. Habits that will feel unnatural. Habits that will hurt your ego. Habit 1, you must weaponize the gap. Between a stimulus and your response, there is a space. For most people, that space does not exist. Someone insults them, they insult back immediately. Anxiety hits, they panic immediately. You must widen that gap. When you feel the surge of anger, when you feel the crush of anxiety, you must freeze. Do absolutely nothing for 5 seconds. Do not speak. Do not type. Do not move. In those 5 seconds, the initial chemical flood begins to recede. You step into the gap and ask yourself, is this emotion useful? Does acting on this serve my ultimate goal? If the answer is no, you discard it. The gap is where your freedom lives. Master the pause, and you master your life. Habit 2, you must implement the mortality filter. Your emotions trick you into believing that every minor inconvenience is a catastrophe. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and your brain reacts as if your life is ruined. This is a delusion of scale. You must aggressively reframe your perspective. When you feel yourself spiraling over a text message, a bad meeting, or a rude comment, ask yourself this brutal question. Will this matter when I am on my deathbed? The answer is almost always no. You are going to die. Your time is finite. Why are you wasting your precious heartbeats being angry at a stranger? Use the reality of death to instantly dwarf the petty grievances of life. Habit 3, you must treat your feelings as a hostile witness. Stop trusting your initial emotional read on a situation. Your brain is wired for survival, not for truth. It looks for threats where none exist. When you feel offended, jealous, or insecure, assume your brain is lying to you. Put your emotions on the witness stand and cross-examine them. Why am I angry? Is it because they are wrong, or because they exposed a truth I don't want to admit? Why am I anxious? Is there a real threat, or am I just imagining worst-case scenarios? When you interrogate your emotions brutally, they usually fall apart. Never accept a feeling at face value. Demand evidence. Habit 4, you must embrace voluntary discomfort. You lack emotional control because your life is too comfortable. When you are used to a perfectly temperature-controlled environment and instant gratification, the slightest friction feels like agony. You must intentionally introduce friction. Take cold showers. Fast for 24 hours. Sleep on the floor once a week. Do a grueling workout when you are exhausted. When you train your body to endure physical discomfort without complaining, your mind learns to endure emotional discomfort without breaking. You realize that you can feel terrible and still perform. You stop fearing negative emotions because you realize they cannot kill you. Habit 5, you must sever your identity from your mood. I am an angry person. I am an anxious person. Stop speaking like this. You are not your anger. You are not your anxiety. These are temporary states passing through you. When you say, "I am angry," you fuse your identity with the emotion. Instead, say, "I am experiencing anger." This subtle linguistic shift creates massive psychological distance. It turns the emotion from a defining characteristic into an external object you are observing. You cannot control what you are. You can easily control what you are observing. Habit 6, you must master the physical override. Your brain and your body are a two-way street. When you are angry, your breathing gets shallow, your jaw clenches, your posture tightens. You try to think your way out of the anger, but your body is still sending fight signals to the brain. You must bypass the mind and use the body. When the emotion hits, forcefully change your physiology. Drop your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Take 3 painfully slow, deep breaths through your nose. You cannot remain furiously angry if your body is completely relaxed. Override the mental chaos with physical discipline. Habit 7, you must ruthlessly limit your inputs. Your mind is a citadel. Why are you leaving the gates wide open for invaders? If you are constantly consuming outrage news, toxic social media, and complaining friends, your baseline emotional state will be chaos. You are voluntarily drinking poison and wondering why you feel sick. You must build a moat around your attention. Cut out the news. Unfollow anyone who triggers envy or anger. Distance yourself from chronic complainers. Protect your mental environment with aggressive prejudice. If something does not make you better, calmer, or smarter, it is denied entry. Habit 8, you must practice the discipline of silence. When you are emotional, your words are weapons, and you will usually shoot yourself in the foot. Anger makes you say things you cannot unsay. Anxiety makes you over-explain and look weak. When the emotion is high, your mouth must close. Refuse to discuss the issue until your heart rate has returned to normal. Tell them, "I am not having this conversation right now." And walk away. Silence is never a mistake. Speaking in anger always is. Learn to let the silence do the heavy lifting while you regain control of your citadel. Habit 9, you must radically accept human nature. You get angry because you expect people to be rational, kind, and fair. You are setting yourself up for continuous disappointment. Marcus Aurelius started his day by reminding himself that he would meet selfish, arrogant, and ungrateful people. He expected it. When you expect people to act poorly, you are not shocked when they do. You do not get angry when a dog barks, because it is in a dog's nature to bark. Do not get angry when a liar lies or a fool acts foolishly. Accept human nature for the flawed, chaotic mess it is. Your peace of mind is no longer dependent on the impossible expectation of everyone behaving perfectly. Habit 10, you must divorce your worth from their perception. Most emotional turbulence comes from a desperate need for external validation. You feel crushed when you are criticized. You feel euphoric when you are praised. You are a slave to the applause. You must build your self-worth entirely on your own actions, your own discipline, your own adherence to your principles. If you know you did the right thing, the mockery of the crowd means nothing. If you know you acted poorly, the praise of the crowd means nothing. When you become your own ultimate judge, the opinions of others lose their power to alter your emotional state. Habit 11, you must stop seeking closure from others. You are waiting for an apology that will never come. You are waiting for an explanation that will never make sense. You are holding on to anger because you think it punishes them. It only punishes you. You do not need their apology to move on. You do not need their understanding to find peace. Closure is a myth sold by therapists. True closure is a decision you make internally. It is the decision to drop the dead weight and walk forward. Forgive them not because they deserve it, but because you demand peace of mind. Habit 12, you must demand action over rumination. Anxiety thrives in stagnation. When you sit still and think about your problems, your emotions magnify them. The only cure for a spiraling mind is immediate, aggressive action. When the anxiety hits, do not sit and stew in it. Move. Work. Clean. Build. Channel the nervous energy into forward momentum. You cannot be paralyzed by fear when you are brutally focused on the execution of a task. Action is the antidote to emotional chaos. You have been fighting a losing battle. You have been trying to negotiate with terrorists inside your own head. You have been begging your emotions to behave. It is time to stop negotiating. It is time to establish martial law in your mind. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control the traffic. You cannot control the betrayal, the insults, or the chaos of the world. But you have absolute, dictatorial control over what those things mean to you. You can cultivate a mind so disciplined, so fortified, that external chaos simply bounces off. Let the weak continue to demand safe spaces. Let them exhaust themselves crying over every perceived slight. Let them consume endless content about how to magically manifest a life without friction. You are walking away from the delusion. You are stepping into the reality of the Stoics. You are choosing the path of absolute inner sovereignty. Build the walls. Fortify the gates. Remain utterly calm amidst the chaos. Do the work. Forge the mind. Stand firm. And when the storms of life inevitably crash against you, do not break. Do not bend. Do not flinch. The world cannot hurt a man who does not feel the pain. Retreat into the citadel. Let them rage outside.